Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, this is F1 Flaming Tarmac, episode 81. Hope the TikTokers are doing good. I'll adjust that during stream. But how's everybody going today? F1 Flaming Tarmac. You know what? I wasn't even expecting to do a video today. There you go. I wasn't expecting to do a video today, but I'm doing it anyway because I felt like doing it. I don't think we really spoke about the McLaren situation regarding Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. I kind of think when we done our review, we kind of done our reviews directly straight after the race, and we didn't really, hear the news come out about Oscar Piastri and the, you know, the rift between the two drivers. And it's expected to happen this time of the season. When you get two drivers on the same team that both gunning for the same goal is to become world champion. We know emotions can get involved. And this is what happens in Formula One. They all say at the beginning of the season, oh, we can be friends. Yeah, we can be friends until we're both gunning for that world title. You saw it with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. I know they weren't both on the same team, but there was both on, both in good cars. They were both going for the world title, and they both ended up not being friends because they were friends before. I would say like friends, but they were acquaintances. And when they started gunning for the world title, the friends went out the window. It actually fractured their friendship. And this is what it does in Formula One. When you're in Formula One, there's only one goal, and that goal is to win the world title. And it is very simple. Put on a bit of music. We're going to chill out tonight. We're going to talk about Formula One. We're going to talk about all sorts. But before I bring in Mike Hoagie's my partner in crime, I want everybody to like the video. I'm on live on TikTok. I'm live on YouTube. I am live on Twitch. We're live on TOTO Hammer's channel as well. We are live everywhere. Sorry if you can't hear me. Sorry about the TikTokers. But we are live everywhere. Everywhere we are live. So, okay. We are live everywhere. And that was just a TikTok message. Don't know what that was talking about. But we're live everywhere. So, TikTok. We are live on Twitch. And we are live on YouTube as well. So, enough of me rambling, and I'm gonna bring in Mike Hoagie's my partner in crime, TOTO. Abba! Big up to TOTO Hammer. How's it going, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah.
We are live on TikTok. We're live everywhere, and we're also live on your channel as well, the side channel. So how's it going, bro?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. Of course, F1's been actually quite live in the news really recently. Season's coming to an end, which is, every year I miss Formula One when it goes off. But it's been a decent season so far. But how I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's all it's all about. Yeah, man, we're just chilling, man. We're just, we're going to talk about Formula One. We're going to talk about, because I was saying before, at the end of the, when the race on Sunday, we've done the review straight away, in it. But all this news regarding Oscar Piastri and all that didn't start surfacing until a few hours later, innit? So when we was doing our review, we didn't really know about the Oscar Piastri situation that he didn't turn up for when they done the, when McLaren come world champions. We didn't really add that in our review. So this is why I want to do a flaming tarmac today, so we can go over that more in detail. You get me? So we know what. Let's just start with Oscar Piastri. What you say, man? What do you think of this Oscar Piastri situation?
I didn't really expect it from Piastri. Now, if you think about the whole season, Piastri's been pretty cool-headed. Nothing really gets through him. If he gets second or third, he usually does his best to try and prove himself, and he usually wins, and he won majority of the races this year, more than Lando this year. But we've all been talking about what a cool head he has. He's got an old head on him. He's very, very calm. He's strong-minded, kind of. But I think it's coming to nearly the end of the season. There's 6 or 7 races left, and it's going to be pressure time. It's going to be business time, the business end of the season. But what Piastri, he don't want to lose points, doesn't he? That race has lost him a lot of points alone. Lando finished ahead of him, and Lando theoretically is back in the title race. You think about last race points and comparing to this race after, the points is much, much closer. Lando's only 20 points away from Piastri. So, you know, that DNF that Lando had, where Lando didn't have a DNF, when Lando had that poor points finish from Baku, now coming into Singapore, it is getting back into the title race because he's finished ahead of Piastri and he's gained 7 or 8 points on Piastri, and now he's back in it again. And Piastri must feel that pressure. As a Formula One driver, you always feel pressure. It's just how you take the pressure. That's basically what it is. I think he shouldn't have done that. If I was Piastri, I would still go in the team and celebrate with the team, because it just shows your hand. It shows your hand and shows exactly that the pressure's getting to you. You know, Lando's a chaser. Of course, Lando's in pressure times as well, but Lando's a chaser in this championship, and they both want to win the championship. But what Piastri's doing, he's just showing his hand that he's nervous and the pressure's getting to him. He's got a potential win of the world title in the next 6 or 7 races. You know, so what Piastri just needs to keep level-headed. But how is he going to keep level-headed if that's the first hand he's shown? He showed his hand.
You're right. You know what? I totally agree. It's like a poker table, isn't it?
Yeah.
Show your hand first, and it's all about mind games and psychological. That's what Formula One is really. It's all about psychological. You can even go back to the old days, even before our time, when you had Frost and Senna. Even before then, you had Niki Lauda and Hunt. You saw that film, Rush. It's all about psychology. But you know what? I'm looking at the overall situation, and look, let's face it, for the entire season, Oscar Piastri has been the one where he's been cool-headed, like you just said. He's been the cool-headed one. He's the one who's been saying, "Oh, all right, mate. All right, mate." He's been the calm, cool, collective. The stressful one was always really Lando. Lando was the one that was really stressed. He used to get, he showed his hand very early in the poker game. But not like you just said. I think I agree with you. So I can see maybe the tide is shifting towards Lando Norris, and Oscar's getting stressed because, look, what do you think of that move? Do you think it was deliberate? You think it was deliberate that look, I know when we done the review at the time, and we could see just by looking at the situation that it looked like there's nothing really Lando could do. But that was like when we done the live show straight after the race. But now looking at it now, now it's been so many hours later. Do you still stand by that statement? Do you think Lando done it on purpose?
No, I've always said that Singapore is very, very high demand in terms of dirty air. Dirty air is a really, really big factor. We've been talking about that all weekend. Dirty has been a factor of drivers losing control. We saw it in qualifying with when Lando was slightly ahead of Max, and Lando got on the racing line where Verstappen was. And the dirty air of Lando was on the racing line, and that's what caused Verstappen to lose control.
Yeah.
So it is a big factor, but again, it's turn 1 and 2. It's very, very tight. Lando didn't really have much space to manoeuvre, so there was a lot of collision in the first corner. There was a lot of collision, but since it's a very tight space, Lando couldn't really do nothing. Lando clipped the back of Max. Not sure if it's on purpose or whatever. He accidentally clipped the back of Max, and which caused him to lose control, which accidentally swerved into his teammate. There's two sides of this. You could say, oh yeah, that Lando purposely swerved into his teammate, but I really don't think Lando would mess up the championship by purposely swerving into his teammate. There's got to be something why he's accidentally swerved into his teammate. But I still stand by my statement that it's just a racing incident. I still stand by that. I don't think Lando's going to do it on purpose. But again, we don't know.
we can only guess, innit?
Exactly, it's conspiracy. But the final decision was race incident, which I do agree. But there is two sides to it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Toto. I think the pressure's getting to Oscar Piastri. And I also agree with you. I don't think Lando done it on purpose. And regarding the dirty air, I think that only counts is when you're on a straight, not when you're on an angle. It was only on a tight angle, wasn't it? It was on a tight angle.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was the dirty air. Now if you was on a straight, yeah, and you was chasing after him like from behind, like when Max Verstappen, remember when Max Verstappen was going for his lap?
Yeah.
And the last corner he was on the straight, and then I think it was Lando Norris got in his dirty air. I understand that, but that first corner, that's only tight, isn't it? So I'm not sure how's the dirty air gonna come into it. I don't understand.
For tight corner.
Yeah.
No, it weren't because of the dirty air.
No, but you mentioned about the dirty air.
Yeah, it was a dirty air. Why drivers were losing control because it's in a very tight space.
First corner though.
But if it's in a very tight space, the dirty, of course,
it don't count.
It's not much as a effect than it is on a straight. But the thing is with Lando, he was in a tight area, and turns 1 and 2, if it's a collision, it's normal. You don't really see penalties for collision really in the first corner unless it's intentional, where the driver intentionally, under his own control, just turns into the other driver. That's a penalty. But Lando weren't in control of his car. He weren't in control of his car. He slightly touched Max, not much, but slightly touched Max in a tight area, and he tried to reposition his car, and Piastri's on the side of him. You can't really do nothing about that. There's no penalties really been given there.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Again, I'm going to ask you again. So you're saying it wasn't on purpose?
I don't think it's on purpose.
We're never going to know though, are we?
No.
So, regarding the championship, let me see if I can bring the points up just to finish this off. Let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. We'll look where everything is, and then we can discuss it a little bit better. There's the drivers standing. I'll just bring that up. Share screen. There we go. Share the screen. So there's the Drivers' Championship. So there you go. There's the Drivers' Championship there. So we've got Oscar Piastri on 336, and we've got Lando Norris on 314. So I still think Oscar Piastri's got the advantage. It's going to be tough for Lando, you know. It's going to be tough for Lando. What I think the only way Lando's going to win this title, if Lando Norris wins every race to the end of the season, or he finishes at least 3 places in front of Oscar Piastri. Now, if Oscar Piastri has a DNF, that will blow the world title right open again. And I will go back to Baku. Lando Norris did not capitalize on the Oscar Piastri being out of the race. He didn't capitalize on it, did he, Toto? Should have done better. He should have at least got a podium, and he didn't. Yeah. What was your thoughts on that briefly again?
With Lando.
Yeah, he missed that. He really missed out on. Gaining some good points in Baku, in my opinion. He should have done better.
McLaren had a strong car, but probably not in that weekend because Piastri was struggling as well. But Lando should have definitely done better. He should have had a better qualifying. There's no excuses there. With the car he's in, he should have at least got top 5, because we all know McLaren weren't really that strong. It was the Red Bull who was very, very strong in the straights. Mercedes was all right in the straights. But with McLaren, it was iffy with McLaren. They weren't really the dominant car that they actually shown from the last couple of races. But he could have still had a potential top 5. Top 4 would have been more than enough to close the gap. it would have been more than enough, especially top 4, would have been more than enough to close it. If they get the strategy right, no delays. They never usually have delays, but these past races, McLaren have been delaying in the pit stop, so we don't know how that's going to go, even though we qualified top 5. But he should have got a better qualifying and should have finished more higher at the grid. He would have had a better chance of, getting a lot more points. But look, he's back in it now. There's 20 points between them. All Lando has to do is finish ahead of Piastri, or finished say if Piastri wins, Lando has to at least finish just behind him. Say second, for an example, but Lando has to win a race. I think the title is still on now. It's still on. If he was talking to me last race, I'd be thinking, look, the title's over. But Lando needs.
We know that Max Verstappen is not winning it. I get it. And we know Max Verstappen ain't going to win it. I told you that a few weeks ago, and then all people online said, yeah, can get no chance. He's 30 points behind Lando and a bit, so he's not winning the world title. I think the only way Lando, like I said, Lando has to win. Lando has to win every game from now, every race from now to the end of the season, and Oscar Piastri has to finish at least 3rd or 4th, maybe. You get me? That's the only way he's going to win it. Look, I'm going to ask you now, who's winning the world title? I'm asking you just outright. Don't sit on the fence. I want to hear the truth. Who's winning the title?
I'll say Lando. I'll tell you why. Lando.
Go on then. Go on.
Because if you think about it, Piastri's already showed his hand that he's a bit nervous, and he's not really.
We think that he's showing his hand.
But no, to say, just if you look at the race, just after one incident, he's already thrown a tantrum over one incident. This is my opinion. Could be wrong, could be right. And again, if Piastri wins the title, I'll come out and say I was wrong. I don't really care. With Lando, I think he's in a good position. He's the chaser at the moment. Piastri needs, again, this is still Piastri's early years at F1, but again, you all know Piastri has so much experience. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. What I'm saying is, I think it's busiest end of the season, and I think Piastri's starting to feel pressure. And again, Lando's feeling pressure as well. But the difference with Lando, he is the chaser of this championship. He's not the one out front. He's not the one trying to defend. Lando is a chaser of this championship. And I just think if Lando starts to be more consistent, the only thing Piastri gets over Lando is consistency. But if Lando starts to be more consistent, I think he's definitely had a chance. I think Lando's winning it. But again, it's two sides. It's a very, very close championship. But I think Lando's going to win it. Because if Piastri starts falling out with the team, because it shows now that, of course, Piastri is linked to Ferrari for 2027 as well. Highly linked with Ferrari for 2027. So if he's starting to fall out with the team and you don't want to join him with team celebrations because of the one incident that never went his way, I think Lando can start to close the gap on him. And he's starting to close it now. Just got to finish in front of him. And I think Lando can do that.
Oh, right. I'm going to tell you now. I want Lando to win it. I want Lando to win it. That's it. I want Lando to win the Drivers' Championship. But it's going to be tough. We're going to know. I think, look, if Lando, I want Lando, I want Lando to win it. I do. Being a British man, he's British. I'm like that. I'm backing my team. You get me? I'm backing my team. Team Brit. You get me? Team UK, Brit, whatever. I'm backing my team. But for Lando, he can't make no mistakes now. Any mistakes by Lando Norris, just like that, gone. It's gone. He has to be perfect from now to the end of the season. Just like Lewis was in 2021. You remember when he was chasing Max Verstappen? There was like 4 or 5 races ago, and he won every single race, you remember? And he was perfect. Even they tried to put him at the back. You remember at Brazil? They tried to screw him at the back. He came back, qualified, got in there, won the race. Did you remember? That's
Yeah.
what Lando has to be. Because remember, I think we've got a sprint weekend coming up as well. There's a sprint weekend coming up now. So when the sprint weekend comes up, yeah, Lando has to win the sprint race and the race. You get me? It has to be perfect. Oscar Piastri doesn't need to beat Lando Norris. Lando Norris has to beat him. You get me? That's an old boxing terminology. You get me? Lando has to beat Oscar Piastri, and the Piastri doesn't have to beat Lando. That's the situation. That's the predicament that we're in at the moment. Now, I want Lando to win, but my heart, my gut is telling me that I think Piastri is going to tip him. He's going to tip him at the end. Now, I want it to come down to the final race, the showdown. You get me? 2 McLaren drivers going wheel to wheel. I want to see that. But Lando has to. I think what done Lando is when he got that DNF. Was it Imola where he got the DNF? Was it Imola, wasn't it? One of them he got the DNF.
Netherlands.
I think that's where he might have lost the title when he got that DNF.
I still think he's very close, and he's only 20 points behind him.
Yeah, he's 20 points.
That's a race win.
Yeah, a race win, but Oscar has to have a DNF. You get me? So there's 6 races to go. There's still a lot of points there to take. I want Lando to win.
It goes to the last race. It goes to the last race, definitely.
You think it goes to the last race? It's getting exciting now, isn't it? He's thinking about it. He's getting to the business end, man. This is why we watch Formula One. You know, let me just check. I want to check everything again.
It goes to the last race, definitely.
Yeah.
And then
and I think Oscar, he's feeling the pressure. I believe what he said.
Oscar feels the pressure.
I
think after that, he does.
For not to turn up, yeah, to the McLaren celebration for winning the constructors is a bit dodgy, isn't it? So he must be blaming the team as well. He must be saying to the team, "You're favouring Lando Norris because he's British." This is the same thing. What when you had Lewis Hamilton and Alonso on the same team at McLaren. This same predicament happened. Alonso blamed McLaren for favouring Lewis because Lewis was British. You get me? Because McLaren's a British team, innit? So I'm going to look at the drivers' title now. Championship, 24, 34. There's 22 points between them.
That's not that bad.
22 points between them. 22 points. Not 20. 22. So that's definitely going to be interesting. It's on.
Look, there's 6 races. There's 6 races to go.
I thought there was more points between them. Now I'm looking. Now it's 22 points. You're damn right. Lando can do it. You damn right. I thought it was about 30 points. You know. You're damn right.
I think experience always prevails.
Come on, Lando.
I think experience always prevails. Lando's been in the Lando's been in the game.
I think my eyes are failing me, right? You know, when I looked at the points earlier, I thought there was about 30 odd points. I was looking at the Max Verstappen one, innit? You know, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. I was looking at that. You get me? You're damn right he's on, man. Lando can do it, man. Lando can do it. But like I said, now Lando's the chaser. Now, if I was in the driver's title, I would rather be the chaser.
Yeah.
Because I think the pressure is on the guy in front. This is what happened with Max Verstappen. When Max Verstappen was ahead of Lewis, and there was 4 or 5 races to go, and Lewis started to mow him down. Boom, boom, and he kept winning everything. And it went down to the last race, and then Lewis got screwed. Remember, Lewis got screwed, and he won the world title anyway, but they screwed him. Yeah? Lando could do it, man. I was speaking to someone in the chat room yesterday, Toto. I was streaming yesterday, and someone on TikTok, I was asking people on TikTok, yeah? Big up to the TikTokers. I was speaking to people in TikTok, and I said to the guys, I go, listen, who do you think is going to win the world title? I asked Piastri and Lando. Most people said Lando Norris. They reckon he's going to come back and get him. This is how it's meant to be. So there's 22 points between them. Lando can do it. All Lando has to do now, he has to finish in front of his teammate. You get me? And you know that sprint weekend, that is going to be very important for the driver's title. You know that? Because there's more points on the board. So he has to win everything. He has to get his elbows out. They're going to, whatever happens, do not DNF. And let that Max Verstappen try and come through. You get me? Don't even bother DNF. That's all I ask. And I mean everyone. Everyone! So, Toto, what are you saying before we head off? Oh, yeah. one more news I want to bring up as well. Is F1 going woke? Is F1 going woke? Are they going woke? Please tell me, are they going woke? F1 going overboard by showing girlfriends. That's what science says. Don't bring them then. Don't bring them. If you don't want your people to look at them, don't bring them. They already got rid of the flipping Greek girl. The Greek girl should have stayed. It wasn't not to do with no sexy thing. The Greek girls was part of Formula One for years. I still don't know why they took away the Greek girls. The Greek girls were part of Formula One history.
It's iconic.
It's iconic. Nothing to do with sexy rubbish, yeah? They should have kept it. You get me? But anyway, let's go through this briefly. Williams Carlos Sainz says Formula One's TV coverage is going overboard a little by showing drivers' girlfriends while missing overtakes during races. During Sunday's Singapore Grand Prix, fans watching at home missed some on-track action, including Fernando Alonso. I agree with that one.
I do. I partly agree what scientists. I do agree what scientists say.
I agree with that point there. I don't agree with everything else.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything else, but I agree with that one there. That statement there. When Lewis Hamilton was chasing with, we're going to get into that after the Lewis Hamilton thing, but when Lewis Hamilton was going, trying to save his race, and Fernando Alonso was closing Lewis Hamilton down, and Lewis Hamilton had no brakes, so he was going up. He was going over to the side. What was he doing? Engine braking. He was engine braking into the corners, right? I don't know how he did that. Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, because what he does,
he done a setter, didn't he?
Because what he does, engine braking is, it's very very it's useful.
Turn your mic if you've gone low.
What engine braking is, it's very very useful in some situations. Basically, what engine braking is, if your brake don't work, and it fails, you use downshift to slow down the car. It works in I do it in a simulator all the time. If you're going into a heavy braking zone, right, and you need to slow that car down, you either put your foot hard on the brake, then you fastly downshift. And what the downshift does, it slows down your car, and that's what Lewis was doing.
Like in the roll car.
He was lifting early, and then what he was doing is lifting early. He quick shift so he can make the corner.
Just like in a car.
Yeah.
So Fernando Alonso chasing Lewis Hamilton and who had brake issues. Yeah, I agree. When I was watching that, I remember when Lewis Hamilton had his brake issues and he was doing what you said he was doing. And what was happening is, right, the camera, the video footage was, it kept going on to like the race what would already finished. I was thinking, put the Lewis thing back on. I remember Crofty, the commentator for Formula One, big up to Crofty. Crofty was alluding to it. He was saying, what's going on? Put the Louis thing back on. I want to see that. The camera, right? Because people think that Martin Brundle and Crofty control the cameras. They don't control the cameras. That's the TV company. That's Sky what control the cameras that are on board. They don't do none of that. They just speak, and then when they see what we see. All right, they can see like the engine stuff, but everything they can see, we see. You know that stuff that you get in F1 that you can see in people's pit lane and stuff like that. That's all Crofty and that can see. So I remember when the finish line, the top three was done, and I remember the race was still going on behind with Lewis Hamilton and Alonso, and every single lap, Alonso was gaining him by 5 seconds because Lewis had no brakes. And I remember when the race finished, I was thinking, go back onto Lewis. And I remember Crofty goes, why don't they go back onto the Lewis thing? I want to see that battle, what's going on with Alonso and Lewis. And I thought that was a bit strange as well, but I understand where he's coming from with that one. But it is what it is, and look, people are going to complain. We live in this kind of society where people like to complain. Bring the grid girls back, and if you bring the grid girls back, that's iconic for Formula One. But I do agree with this part here, what they said. Fernando Alonso chasing down Lewis Hamilton, who had brake issues for the 7th place in the final laps. So I agree with that, and you get me, I agree with it. So let's kind of shift our opinion away from this. Let's briefly talk about the Lewis Hamilton situation regarding Fernando Alonso. We're getting the hate online. This is our last topic before we head off. We're getting the hate online regarding Alonso, saying Alonso said they should have retired the car. It was dangerous. What's your thoughts on it, Toto? Because did Lewis get a penalty? He's got a 5-second time penalty, hasn't he?
look, my opinion on it.
Has he got a 5-second time ban? Is it now?
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, go on.
I think it's quite out of order from the FIA for being a bit too harsh, but again, it's in the rules. If you do cut the corner, very, very continuously, it is a penalty. But I think there should have been an exception. I think there should have been an exception since Hamilton had brake issues and he had to cut the corner for basically, it's not gaining him time because he's still losing 5-8 seconds to Alonso every single lap. He had a 50-second gap on Alonso and it went down to a small 0.6. I don't think cutting the corner improved or gained any time by Lewis by any mile. He never gained time by getting.
I think they should have retired the car.
He only cut the corner because his brake was failed, so he couldn't do the normal racing line. He had to take excessive.
I get that part.
He had to take more space in the corner. But in my opinion,
they should have retired the car.
If the car, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get into that now. If the car,
got told. Go on. Facts.
If the car was
like my booty,
if
man.
the car was unsafe to drive. If the car was
no,
unsafe,
regular.
If the car was unsafe to drive, they should have brought back. They should have.
They regular. Bad TOTO.
They should have brought out the old meatball flag, which is the black and orange flag. What the black and orange flag is, the black and orange flag is what is shown by the marshals to say the car is too unsafe, you have to retire this lap. That's basically what the flag means. But they never brought out no flag like that. I think the FIA is very, very stupid not to bring out the flag because that car is very, very unsafe. Say if Lewis brakes failed in a specific corner and he went into a marshal with the yellow flag, marshals on the track. We don't know. We're just thinking of the worst scenario. But Lewis's car, I admit, was unsafe to drive. Once your brakes fail, your car's unsafe to drive. That's why they should have brought out the black and orange flag. But FIA didn't think like that. They want to slap a penalty on Lewis. But I think he's a little bit harsh. The car was very unsafe to drive. It's FIA's responsibility to tell the race director, hold on, let the marshals bring out the black and orange flag to represent the mechanical issue with the car and say it's very unsafe to drive, you have to come in this lap. Then boom, Lewis wouldn't have got a penalty. But they never showed Lewis no flag. So why would Lewis come in? Why would Lewis sacrifice track position to come into the pit lane and end his race completely for no reason when he could carry on? This is where I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
Why giving a 5-second penalty if your brakes are failed and he had to cut the corner because it's a safe option to cut the corner? It's not like he's gaining time. I understand if Lewis was gaining time and cutting the corners, but he wasn't. Alonso was gaining on him for 8-9 seconds per lap. It came down to 0.6 of a second towards the end. So Lewis didn't gain no time on Alonso by cutting the corner. He cut the corner for his own safety. If he wouldn't have cut the corner, he would have found the tie wall. That I don't get it. I don't get the 5-second time.
So do you think they should have retired the car?
Yes.
I think they should have retired. That's all I wanted to know.
Why would Lewis retire the car if he's not instructed to do so?
I'm not blaming Lewis. I'm blaming Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm blaming Ferrari. Ferrari should have retired the car. Not Lewis. Lewis is just taking orders, isn't it? So it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah. Yeah. So that's it, man. Flaming Tarmac. I really enjoyed this show, TOTO. It was a good show, interesting show, man. Episode 81 in the bag. And big up to the TikTokers as well. Big up to the TikTokers. Thank you for joining us, TikTokers. Not so big because I know the football's on now, innit? Everyone's watching. Anyway, so yeah, big up to everyone on TikTok, big up to everyone on Twitch, big up to everyone on YouTube as well, and also streaming on Total Hammers Racing channel as well. Big up to everybody, big up to the man them, big up to the woman them. And if you want to say top before we head off?
Nothing else to say, really. Nothing else to say. Just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
That's it, man. Big up to everybody. See you later, guys. Bye.